Hi guys, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to use Cricut Infusible ink pens. I'm going to show you a variety of what they have so far. I'm going to show you guys how to use these along with digital stamps. You heard me, digital stamps. You can also use these with your stamps. You could stamp your, you could draw around the edges with your black pen, and then you can actually stamp them and do the exact same thing with your rubber stamps. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Number one, we've went over a few of these colors already. So you can buy, what I'm showing you today is all of the markers. But I wanted to point out, instead of piling them all up here, I'm going to show you all of the markers, but let you know that every single one of these that I'm showing you is also available in the pen, which is 0.4. So all of these are 1.0. Let's go ahead and start down here. So we have this set right here. So this one right here has a yellow, but you can notice that we have different yellows. So you can see those yellows are different from these yellows. Kind of get that in there a little bit closer. Okay, so you guys can see all of those yellows are different. So they now have these big boxes like this. You can also buy them in smaller sets like this, but they are all actually different. So it's not like they're the same or anything like that. They're all actually very different. So we have the nostalgic oranges and greens and blacks and reds and yellows. You have your neons right here. We have watercolor splash, so this is more of like your pastel light colors. We have this set right here, which is your basics, you know, red, green, purple, brown, and black. And then a set of blacks, so that way, because you're probably going to go through more blacks than anything. And then you have these two sets right here. So this one's a 15 count, and this one is a 30. Now, the colors that are in this box are not the same that are in this box. There may be one or two repeats, but they're actually different, and I'm going to show you that really quick. So you have this box right here, which contains 15, and then you have this box right here, which contains 30. And these are in nice storable boxes. I really like the way that they've designed these now to store them like this. All right, so let's go ahead and open up these ones right here so I can go ahead and show you. And what I like about it is I'm going to be doing the digital stamps, and I'm going to want a variety, kind of like how I'd be coloring with Copics, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this piece here. And then if we kind of pop this, there's actually a tray down in there that'll hold these up. So if you guys kind of pop these out, there's actually a tray. You can see the tray down in there. So you guys can see that tray. So you can take them out on your desk stand. I'm going to show you that really quick. I'm making a mess, but hold on, bear with me. All right, so you can actually take them out of the box. And there's a stand right inside. So it looks just like this. So you can set this on your desk and you can fill all of these in. So you can put them all back in here by color and color sort these however you want to. So you can go all pinks and start to go into the reds and do this whole like color thing here. So it's really neat. So you can put those on your desk. I'll pick those up in just a second. And then you have this package here. So I'm going to kind of show you a couple colors that seem similar. That way you can see what's different from the next box, all right? So I'm going to open this one up. And it's going to be, this one's actually going to stay inside. This one held a lot better. So, which actually you could probably open it from the other end and then slide it out. That way you don't have the same mess that I do. All right, so let's go ahead and go over those now. So let's see if they have orange peel. So they do have names. So let's see. This one right here is tangerine, and there is not a tangerine. So this one right here, which looks like this one right here, this one is bubblegum, and this one is pink. This one is party pink. So they're all actually different, all right? So if you're wondering if it's the same as this one over here, I'll go ahead and open that up so I can tell you really quick. So this is the watercolor splash, and this one is party pink. So this one is the same as this. So we probably do have repeats from this one. Like this one does look like this one here. So this smaller set probably has more repeats from this set over here. And then these would be fresh, if that makes sense. All right, so let's go ahead and get these out of the way. Show you guys really quickly. So these things, which you guys will see when I do my final reveal of my craft room, but I have these things that hold my markers hanging on the wall. You can get them from IKEA, but you can completely fill these up with those pins as well. But you can feel free to organize these like you would your Copic markers. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys over here in Cricut Design Space how I brought in this digital stamp. So this is super cute. I got this from La La Land Crafts. So let me go ahead and show you her website really quick. So if you guys have not checked out her stamps, her dies, you have to. It's a must. Her stuff is amazing. And I met her in person over there at Creativation, and she was everything I could imagine. She was super, super sweet. So let's go ahead and jump into the Digi stamps. So to find those digital stamps, they're right here. Now you can specifically look from Marcy, Paper Dolls, Luca, which is the little boy, Molly, Frenchie, or others. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on Digi stamps so I can bring them all up. So you can see how cute these are. I'll kind of zoom you guys in and take you guys over a little bit. So these are some of the digital ones. Look how cute look how cute that clown is. I love it. This pumpkin one right here is one of my favorites. I may do that one today. I know we're working on a Christmas, but I may do that one as well. Look at this cute little boy. I love that. I don't know, I may do him as well. All right, so let's see. We've got a cute little birthday girl. This one right here, this is super cute. So a chickadee. I love these two. This is Frenchie. This is the one I've already got downloaded and in there, but I want to do something different so I can show you guys how to purchase these and bring them in. I have this one right here in a rubber stamp. I absolutely love it. It's so cute. Look at this one with the snowman. That one's really cute. I may do that one. All right, I think that is going to be the one I'm going to do. Okay, so what you're going to do is you can click on add to cart right here. They are $4.50 each. And then I'm just going to proceed to checkout. So I'm going to go ahead and click PayPal. So I've went through my PayPal. You're going to have a screen, which I've scrolled down past all my stuff. So at this point, you're just going to hit checkout. All right, it says order complete. So then it says you can visit the My Accounts page at any time to check the status of your order and print a copy of your receipt. Just check your email, and you will see where it says click here to download. All right, then it's going to say click here to download. All right, so all we're going to do is hit the download button here, double click, and they're going to pop up just like that. So we're going to get a JPEG, a PNG, a JPEG of a couple fonts here. So we have Sending Warm Wishes, or phrases, if you will, sentiments. So winter is here. You're going to get a couple of those as well. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to Cricut Design Space. Okay, so now that we're back in Cricut Design Space, all we need to do is come to upload an image, browse. I like to go to recent, and I'm going to click on the JPEG. And then I'm going to hit complex, continue. And then all I'm going to do is click all of these white pieces, and it's going to let us take them out super easy. Right, there you have it, super easy. So then you're going to hit continue, and you can save it as a print and cut or a cut image. It doesn't matter. You can do it however you want to. So say, for example, I'll do a print and cut, hit save. Right, I'm going to click on it and hit insert images. Now once you bring it in, all you need to do, and you can either color this in like we're going to do today, or you could cut this out with vinyl. So what you can do is duplicate this several times, contour these pieces individually, which I'll do in another video, and cut these out in different colors, and you can actually use this to do iron-on or vinyl projects as well. This would be super cute on those Starbucks cups that everybody's doing. All right, so what you're going to do is come up here and go to draw. And now she's ready to draw. And what it's going to do is draw this outline, and we're going to simply fill in the black pieces. No big deal. And then, so I'm going to use, you can either use your marker or you can use your pen, which is 0.4, which is what I'm going to use as the pen. And then we'll fill all the rest of it in. So let's get ready to cut it out. So all we need to do now is size it. So I want to do mine about 5 inches tall. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to a 5. And that's what we're going to get. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do both of them here so you guys can see. And then we're going to change her to 5 as well. And that's going to give us 2.8 wide. I don't want to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and change that to a 6. And that'll give us 3 and 6. Whoop. 6. There we go. So So something like that. All right, here we go. So I'm going to have them print on the same page. All we're going to do now is hit make it. We want to make sure that we mirror this. So what I'm going to do is hit mirror. And maybe you want to scoot these around so that way I have a little bit more room to color on some paper. So something about like that looks good to me. Actually, I'm going to bring her back in. All right, something about that like that looks good. So what I'm going to do is hit continue. I'm going to choose my Explorer Air 2. We're going to be using our blue mat today, and we're going to be using just a piece of laser paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in there. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to take my black pen here, and I like to double check somewhere that it's working, so I'm just going to test it down here on the paper. All right, looks like everything is good to go. Open up slot A, and I'm going to get that down in there just like so. And I'm going to go ahead and hit go. All right, so what we're going to do is unload it, take our pen, all right, and hit the unload button. We're going to go ahead and shut this and scoot it out of our way. All right, so you can color right onside this mat, or you could go ahead and peel this off. So what I'm going to do is flip it upside down like I do and slowly fill this off, and that's going to prevent that curling, so you can see where that last piece came up and curled, but that's going to really help with that. I'm going to get me a piece of cardstock. You can use your Teflon sheet, whatever you want to, underneath here. Like I said, you could have left it on your Cricut mat. You can always use your Cricut mat underneath once you put that plastic back on top too to protect it. You could just use about whatever you want to. So this is what we're going to do. Now, I'm going to bring it up so you guys can see the outline here. So you guys can see how nicely that is. And that was drawn with the black pen. So this is the Infusible ink. Make sure it's the one for Infusible ink. And you can see that little small outline. I'm going to go back in and fill that in at the very end, which is really going to make it pop. So what I'm going to do is start with Luca. So I'm going to start by coloring in the top of his hat so you guys can see with a couple different reds. So let's see how many different reds we have kind of going on here. So we've got two. So we have red and then fuchsia. This is actually a pink, but I think I'm going to use it. And I may actually use this one right here, which is paprika. So I may use a little bit of that. Okay, so I think I'm going to use the red and the paprika. And these are both in the marker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. So I'm going to go ahead and take my, just like if I was using Copic, okay? So I'm going to kind of do this flicking motion. So it's going to look a little bit messy at first. And remember, these colors are dull. So they're going to look very dull until you press it. So the colors aren't going to look right. So keep that in mind. Just focus on what color your marker is. Paprika here. And I'm going to come in and fill in here in the middle. So I'm just kind of going in here in the middle. Just like so. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to take some water. So I'm going to take a little container of water. All right, and then I've got a piece of, you could use like a hand towel or something like that. I got a piece of fabric here. All right, so I'm going to take some of, so I've got a whole variety of brushes. So I'm going to figure out what kind of fits in that area. I don't want anything too big. And I'm going to try to find what I want to use. So all right, let's just say that I'm going to use this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and dip it in my water, getting it going. And I'm going to try to take out quite a bit of that water. I don't want it too wet. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start to blend these together. not blending so good, you can always come back in with some more of your marker very carefully. While it's still wet, and then right, just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and come back over here on this side. You really want to work with these pens while they're fresh and wet. So you don't want to do too big of an area. So like I really probably should have slowed down and just kind of did a part and then came out and did a little bit. But that's okay. So you want to be very careful not to tear your paper, which that's why laser paper is really good because it's more thick. So I can come back through here and fill this in just a little bit, like so. And then I can really kind of blend those out. Right. And then I can come back in with my red here in a little bit. I'm gonna let that dry just a little bit, and I'm gonna come back in and flick those and kind of darken that just a little bit. So let's see what they did here on, and what I'm doing is I'm following her picture here, is I'm gonna find this nice light gray. So I think I'm gonna do something about like this. And she did some little marks that kind of look like this to kind of make it look like fuzz on the hat. So since, you know, with your markers in infusible ink sublimation, there's not white, the hat's going to be white, if that makes sense. So the paper, whenever through the shirt, which you'll see here in a minute, and it'll all make sense. So that's all going to be white. All right, let's find some brown for his hair. So I'm going to use dark gray with a little bit of that tawny, that brown, and I'm going to come in and fill it in his hair. And you can also do this as I'm doing right now. You don't have to have the water, so you can do it without the water. It just kind of depends on how much blending you're wanting to do. So say I've got that, I can always just come in with my pen. Just make sure you slow down, take your time. So I could come in about like this and add just a little bit of that gray on top of the brown to kind of give it some of that shading. And then to blend those two together, we use a little bit of that water. So these two colors flowed together a lot easier than the red, and which those were totally two separate colors as well. And I'll go back on top here in just a minute. So I'll put the lid on that, come back on top. So if you work in a small area, like I'm doing here with these hair pieces, it really does work a lot better with that blending. So at first, I'm going to admit the first part was a hot mess. But as I'm slowing down and taking my time with smaller pieces and going in a bit at a time, and then blending those out, is working like a charm. So just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going. I'm going to speed the rest of this process up, and then I'll meet you guys back when it's time to press.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rub a little bit of this gray on the back of this box here. All right, you can put it on anything. I'm just putting it where I can get to it. And I'm going to dip my brush right in there. And I'm just going to kind of make like these splotches on the shirt here.
A sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house.
All right, so it's not the best job that I could have done. I basically want to show you guys that you guys could color with these the exact same way that you would Copic markers. Now, obviously, Copic markers is going to be easier. Sure, we'll find some easier ways to do it along the way. But just to show you, you can simply take something like your plastic, like your Tim Holtz matte Teflon sheet, and you can color right onto these. So just like this. So you can color right onto those and then dip your water into them just like a watercolor. So you could do it just like that. So you can see I was trying to bring some color into his face, which we'll see once we kind of press it. Now this is, like I said, not the best coloring job that I could do. I could do a whole lot better, but just for the sake of the video to show you guys what you could do. Now for the final step is make sure it's completely dry, and then what you want to do is come back in with your black marker and go over everything. Now for some of the smaller spots, you're going to want to go in with the pen, so the 0.4. Let me see, I have it in here somewhere. For the more finer spots like his nose and mouth and chin, around the tree, you may want to use the smaller pen, so the 0.4, which is more of a fine tip like this. Hopefully you guys can see it, compared to the thicker marker. So just take your time to go over that with whichever one you would like, but that's what's really going to make it pop. So let me go ahead and do that now. Alright, so I think I have went over everything, and you guys don't have to do that step. It's just totally up to you, whatever you want to do. So this is what it looks like so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down to size so we can go ahead and press it on our onesie. Okay, so according to the Cricut Heat Guide, we need to preheat for 15 seconds. So we are going to set our easy press for 385 for 40 seconds, light pressure. Today we're using the 6x7, and this is how we're going to sandwich this. So we have our mat, we're going to have a piece of cardstock inside, our shirt, and then a piece of protectant paper. We're going to put our mat. I like to go ahead and put an extra piece of the butcher paper down. We're going to go ahead and take our baby bodysuit. I'm using a 6x9 month. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our baby bodysuit up here. And I'm going to trim down my piece of cardstock so it will fit right inside. All right, so we're just going to squeeze that right inside. All right, just like that. I'm gonna take your lint roller and lint roll this. Now, if you don't have a lint roller, which I can't find mine at the moment because my craft room's in a mess as I'm working on it. So what I'm gonna do is just take me a piece of tape. I'm actually using the heat resistant. Don't need it, but it's what's on my table. So I'm just gonna take some here and just kind of roll around my shirt and make sure I can pick up any lint. Because you definitely don't wanna skip that step. Now we're going to go ahead and preheat for 15 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and preheat for 15 seconds. All right, we're going to let that cool back down. You don't want to let it cool down just a little bit before you get this on there, because if it's warm and this starts going, it's going to start the process. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and figure out where I want this to be. So say I want it somewhere right in here. I could take some of that heat resistant tape, and I'm going to use this one since it's here, but Cricut has their own. And I'm going to go ahead and trim me off a piece. Get one up here at the top and one at the bottom. All right, now we want to put down another piece of the butcher paper, and we want to make sure we cover this whole design. I'm going to get that right on top there, and it's just light pressure. Hit go. All right, so what we're going to do is carefully lift that up. Move our butcher paper out of the way, which you can see that came through, so this is now trash. All right, and we're going to go ahead and peel this up and see what it's going to look like. Remember, the colors are different than what's originally on there. So there it is. How cute! How cute is that? Is that not adorable? And so you can see where I made it look like texture on the shirt. Using the pens, you can see where I blended the two colors together. And if I really would have taken my time and I wasn't recording, obviously, I would really take my time. You can see where I used that watercolor, and I just used the color right here, that tawny, the brown, and some water to make the skin tone. How perfect was that? But I could really play around with these colors and really get some different effects. But like I said, since I was doing a video, it's kind of fast. But how cute is that? And then I could do this and say this is for, I'm just making it up, say my nephew Eric, which he's obviously old, but I'm just using a name. So say this was for my nephew Eric and he was newborn. I would maybe put his name down here or something like that, or baby's first Christmas, just something, or maybe even just leaving this design. But there's dogs, there's cute little bears, there's all kinds of stuff you can color in. Now, La La Land Crafts is not the only one that has Digi stamps. Check them out on Etsy. There's tons of other brands out there that have Digi stamps, so just look into it. And like I said, you could also use your stamp, but what I like about the digital stamps is I could size that any size that I want to. You can really play around with it. So I'm going to have a link down below to La La Land Crafts so you can check hers out. Like I said, they're so affordable at $4.50. You can use them for all kinds of stuff, for your vinyl, your iron-on, and then your infusible ink. So don't be afraid of the infusible ink pens. They are so much fun, and you can use them just like you would your Copics. And just like the texture, you can see that I used the watercolor to create those dots, to create some texture as well. So it's really, really cute. So one thing is, I would say the red, I would probably use a little bit, once I get some red down, I would actually keep going. You can build it over with the same. So let's see, with the red, once I got that red down, let it dry, go move on to something else, and come back with the red and go over again and over again. And it's gonna continue to build that red for you. So it's just that easy. So infusible ink pens are a ton of fun. Definitely check them out. You can do them on the coasters, the shirts, the tote bags, on everything that you can imagine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.